So I'm trying to implement feature 4, which is generate, just to generate generate new worksheets from an original. Now yeah, I see that it's trying to modify a schema that exists, but I think I'd prefer to create a new. Yeah, so right now with my Python app, I mean, this is my mistake. It says that like I just never use Python, so when I set this up I didn't use any migration features. So I think what's happening is that it's expecting me to update like previously created files. In this instance, I'd rather have it as a migration, or at least a separate file. Then I could run it separately. Always miss this. So I guess based on my experience yesterday with the with a new feature that was added, I'm definitely not comfortable with with cursor building out the application. I definitely feel like I have to go through at least majority of the code before being comfortable to commit. I have a video that I put on YouTube about like duplicate code that was introduced to a feature I added, and it was just quite disturbing considering it to be a very I think it's just surprising. Like I understand when there is not the need, but when there are hallucinations, just based on my understanding about ambiguity of information, I can imagine problems relating to not knowing, not having enough information, and then creating something out of thin air. That I understand, but the issue that I discovered relating to like duplication of code and very obvious situation where code should not have been duplicated, that was I didn't know how to really wrestle with that problem, like mentally trying to think why would it do that, and the situation that it occurred. To me, especially with Python being a very mature language, I'm sure there are a lot of examples of how code has been refactored, or where code should be refactored, where there shouldn't be duplicate code, but because they just did it, it just gives me some kind of uncertainty with being very clear about I just can't picture why it would do that. And the only reason I can think of is that there is a lot of code that's just not well put together, that there is a lot of duplicate code, and so it just I don't know. There's definitely some flaw in that issue. So because of that flaw, I think it's hard for me to truly trust the LLM in generating large pieces of code, like small pieces of code where it's just updates, or not big chunks of code. I feel like I can at least easily go through them, but with new features, which generally will require a lot of new files, those are more concerning for me. So like these creates. I was running these before, and I don't know. I mean things work, but I'm definitely less confident with some of the services that were created, like these ones here. Some of them were like this one. It was when I fixed, because I saw that there was duplication. So basically, this was the method that was refactored. Well, not the one that was refactored. That was the method that was created to remove duplication. But anyways, I won't go too much into that. But I guess anywhere that has duplication expectations, or not duplication expectations, but anywhere that's creating new files, I need to keep an eye on, especially this one. And this one. So anything that's new, I feel like I'll need to take a more serious look at least people or yeah, just at the code review big time. Okay, well I think I'm okay with that, so I'll just let it build. Yeah, I don't like these defaults. I don't know, just I moved it as a preference before. Well, I guess I didn't remove it all. That's okay. Yeah. The main thing is, as long as it catches the model not being applied, I'm okay. Of course, I need to copy this into that env, which I'll do. So I also need to run. Why not? Update. So I think I need to do a rebuild. So now it's going to see. So this is like, yeah, a couple hundred lines. So this is where, for me, it's concerning what it's going to do. Whether it'll make some poor choices. Yeah, so this would be a big one because generation services have several things that are important to implement. Yeah, so these three. Actually, these four. Regenerate is not as heavy. And regenerate should be quite straightforward. But these three are a lot hard, not harder, but just involves more code. so this, yeah, 700 lines of code. Schema change. Yeah, so this. So these are, I think, quite straightforward, like what the JSON shape would look like. Generation. So I do like the plan mode, because the plan mode kind of actually describe what it will do, and I think as long as it's going to follow by what the plan mode is saying, then it makes sense. So that it's doing. So I think it's just this piece of code I need to kind of review. I mean, generations is just the wrapper for the API, so I don't think it's, there isn't too much. I mean, this is not the, it won't be the one that has a problem. It's because it's pretty standard, and there are references for it to generate this, so I don't think it will be problematic. The main one is the generations, and these ones I think will probably handle pretty well. It's just implementing these into the into the code. And these are also, I think, quite I'm gonna stop the recording for now. I think I've described what I wanted to describe. Right now I was running the tests. I'll come back later when I do the review of this code. Yeah.